Turkish Airlines Euroleague. I feel devotion.
The game of the week came from Tuscany, where Sienna hosted Barcelona. Which teams grabbed their chance to claim a top 16 place? We talked to Julius, Jenkins, Sinan, Guler and David Andersen. Getting it right from the start helped two teams' top 16 chances. Revel in the stunning plays from this week's outstanding players. Montepaschi's Sienna hosted Barcelona at the Palestra on Thursday night for the game of the week. Both the Italian and the Spanish team had already qualified to the top 16 phase of the tournament. But when it comes to a classic game in Euroleague basketball between two of the best teams, it's always a tough battle on the court. Coach Simone Pianigiani wanted to take on Barca openly to understand how Sienna had improved after losing the game in Spain 92-75 last November, despite now missing three key players: Makaleb, Kaukenas and Lavrinovic due to injury.
We've had injuries in the past, you know, the same guys have been hurt before, and we've been successful, so we just need to get through this period again. They're obviously one of the best teams in Europe every year, and we're one of the better teams in Europe as well. And so I think anytime two good teams match up, you know, you always want to show that you're strong and you're better than them.
Aware that the 17-point winning margin from the previous encounter could have been a one-off, Barcelona arrived fully focused.
We just go about our business. We have our rules that our coach, Xavi Pascual, puts in, and we just follow his rules. Whatever he tells us for the game, he prepares us very well. It's a total team effort, from the players to the staff, to everybody. We're all together. We're all one.
The visitors had the better approach early in the game and got a good margin thanks to Kosta Perovic. For Zisis, 13 points in the first quarter closed the gap. In a very balanced second quarter, the Blaugrana had a good contribution from Lorbeck, top scorer of the game at the end with 22, while Sienna stayed close and took the lead with a buzzer beater sunk by Aradori.
We must play with the best concentration in every details, every small things. I hope that my player have other energy to put in the court, but will be not easy. I don't know if it's enough, our energy, to compete for other 20 minutes, but in any case, until now, was good job.
We need to play better defense in pick and roll situations, and we need to score near the basket.
It was Lorbeck again in the third, trying to help Barcelona fly away. The margin increased until Chuck Edson gave his team a 15-point advantage early in the quarter with a three-pointer. When the game seemed done, Pietro Aradori 20 points and Igor Rakocevic 21 led the incredible comeback. A 30-15 partial in the last period gave Sienna a 77-74 win. The key to success came from Sienna's surprise scoring guard.
First of all, to stop Lorbeck and Navarro, and then the post-up about Pete Michael and Chuck Edson. And we did a pretty good job. We let them score only 74 points, and that's a great key. Barcelona now is one of the best teams in Europe, and we are so proud to beat them.
Barcelona lost its unbeaten record, but is assured top spot in the group, whatever happens next week. Likewise, Sienna definitely finishes second. Olympiacos advanced to the top 16 thanks to the win over Bennett Cantu. The Reds and Cantu are the only two teams to have clinched a spot in the next round. Geskrap Bilbao dominated in Istanbul against Fenerbahce, grabbing its fourth victory to stay alive in the chase for the top 16, where there are now three teams: Fenerbahce Ulker, Caja Laboral and Geskrap Bilbao. Instead, Sluk Nancy, with just 3 victories, is out of the competition. The key game in the final week of the regular season is in Bilbao, between two Spanish teams, Geskrap and Caja Laboral. Not only two Spanish teams, but two Basque teams. If Caja Laboral grabs victory in Bilbao, then Ivanovic's team and Fenerbahce advance to the top 16. To be sure of clinching a spot in the next stage, the Turkish team has to win in Cantu, where no one has won yet this Euroleague season. Group A is unpredictable. Just one thing is sure, it will be a thrilling finale. Big men make the difference. The effectiveness of the big men stems from the efficiency in both sides of the court, especially in defence, but at the same time in offence. Of course you have to defend and to score in all roles, but having some big men in the middle helps a lot, especially if these big men are focused on their job, ready to run, be present in the paint, and if necessary, be able to carry the team on their shoulders. That's what happened in Group B with CSKA Moscow and Unicaja Malaga, who won their games with the big men. November B win MVP Nenad Kirstic drove the Russians to their 9th win in a row, remaining the only undefeated team in the Turkish Airlines Euroleague. An impressive display of power from CSKA in the 91-75 win over defending champs Panathinaikos. On the other hand, Joe Freeland and Luka Zoric helped Unicaja Malaga to step up by stunning KK Zagreb 82-67 on the road and earn access to the top 16. The key game of Group B was in Bamberg, where Brose tried to grab the top 16 qualification with a win over Žalgiris Kaunas. But Brose faced a confident and motivated team. The Lithuanians came to Germany to play the most important game of their season. And that's exactly what they did. Trifunovic's team stepped on the court with the right approach, taking an early lead in the first quarter and never looked back, showing how much talent they have in their roster. With one more win next week versus KK Zagreb, Žalgiris can fill the last Group B top 16 spot. Born in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Julius Jenkins started out at Deerfield Beach High School before moving on to Georgia Southern University.
When I finished college, I looked to, Europe, somewhere that I can play and make a professional career. And so far, it's turned out great. In my younger days, I never would have thought I would have been so successful like I have been.
He left the US for Germany in 2003, where he started his European experience with 2nd Division Nuremberg. His stunning performances alerted top team Alba Berlin, who quickly signed him, and where he won a German title. And this season with Brose Baskets, he's playing his 2nd Euroleague campaign, and Germany now feels like a second home.
I think this is going on my 8th year being in this country, and kind of have found a second home. It's been real nice situation for me, and I have enjoyed it the whole time, man.
It's a long way from the Florida sunshine to Germany, but the love of basketball is universal, as demonstrated by the atmosphere generated on game day.
Those fans are very passionate and they're into the game. It's a great atmosphere. In the States, it's always good too, but I think more people in the States are coming just for fashion and to socialize and things like this. They're not really paying attention so much to the game, but here, people look and they pay attention more, I think.
And the German fans really know how to push their team.
I mean, you hear those fans like all the time. They're there, so it's not like you can, of course, we block them out when we play the game, but you still know they behind you, like in a big game, sometimes it can turn the game around. The home court here is very tough. Like the fans are really passionate and they're like into the game and they're so loud.
Real Madrid in the first quarter, up by 12 points. Empori Armani in the second, up by 13. Maccabi in the third, up by 14. Enough for 3 large wins by the home teams in the 9th week of Group C. Real Madrid exceeded the 100 points for the 3rd time this year. Only Sienna have also done it, but just once. all of which leaves no doubt about which is the most offensive team of the regular season. Maccabi won by 39 points over a qualified and satisfied Anadolu Efes. The four big men, Hendricks, Blue, Skotsianitis and Eliyahu, the only players in double digits. A very unusual stat. But the real great novelty was the 6 assists by Eliyahu. His total from the previous 8 games was only 4. Milan also found a novelty. Top scorer was Leon Radozovic with 17 points. Also for him, what he did on Thursday was more than double what he had done in the 8 previous games, a mere 8 points. Next week, with Real Madrid first, Maccabi second and Anadolu Efes third, the only doubt is about the last qualified team. A question strictly reserved to Partizan and Empoli Armani, ready for the final showdown in Belgrade on Thursday. Partizan won in Milan by 4 points after an incredible comeback in the last quarter. So Milan must match that winning margin if the Italians want to play in the top 16. For both, and for us, another unforgettable night at the Pioneer. Sinan Guler grew up in a basketball family. His father Nikati was a player and a coach at Ulker.
My mother was a player also before they got married. And, you know, me and my brother, we pretty much grew up in one of the old stadiums that my father used to play basketball. And I never really had a choice, and I really didn't want any other choice to begin with because, you know, this is the best way to spend my energy, especially when I was a kid. I was very active and it would be hard to get me tired.
Time not spent in the gym, training with his older brother's team, was still focused on all things basketball with his father. Games, training sessions. Summer camp is a perfect moment to work on the basics, and his father was the course organizer.
There were like 3 American coaches there, and one of them said, "You're good to play, why don't you try it out?" And that was pretty much it. It just like opened up a light for me and I went.
From Turkey to the States was a huge change. Despite all the differences, there was one common thread.
When basketball is the main thing, then there's no religion, culture, any difference. You know, you're playing out there to win every time.
Sinan improved his game playing at small colleges in Utah and Montana, but had it all to prove on his return home.
You know, like when you play Monopoly, you go to prison for a while and then you have to start over again. It was kind of like that because I had to go through a stage where I have to prove myself again because nobody knew what I did in Montana other than reading on the tabloids.
Now he is fundamental to Efes, a key player on both sides of the court with an endless supply of energy.
You know, when I look back, I took the right steps to come to this point, and you know, that overwhelming situation is happening once in a while, you know, like especially, you know, winning the championship with Efes, getting silver medal at the World Championships. But then, you know, like when you sit down and take a look at things, you realize, okay, there's more things to do and there's more improvement that you can get, and that's what I try to do.
And everything is made that much easier with the help of a basketball-crazy family.
I try to share everything with all 3 other members of the family and everybody else because, you know, they have insights on the game, and which, you know, if I make mistakes, they can see that I cannot see, or we can share these thoughts.
Bilbao and Žalgiris, the last chance to win to stay alive. And what's more, both on the road. In a situation like this, the secret sometimes is a strong start. Bilbao started with steals. Diving on loose balls. The first break came with an aggressive penetration by Jackson. The +8 thanks to the strong hands and brain of Mavridis. Grimau, running and pushing the ball, found the first +11. Repeated by attacking the defense and serving Fisher. two same guys built the plus 13 advantage. Brose, like the experienced centre he is, firmly wanting the one-on-one. Dior, like a smart guard, catching and faking before the layup. Everything in 14 minutes. Žalgiris, for its part, sent its message by starting with aggressive attacks. The penetration of Weems. Then Kalnietis pushing the ball down the floor to serve Jankunas. But even to find his own shot. At the end of all this beginning, Jankunas cutting strongly, holding the position. +6 to start. The +9 came with a fast, not so usual play by Rakovic. Javtokas got the low post and hooked for the +12. The strong penetration of Collins and the extra pass of Klimavicius signed the largest advantage, 22-40, exactly after 16.5 minutes. Of course, you still need great plays to win, like a triple for the +22 by Vasiliadis. Or the fantastic steal and dunk by Weems to close the game. But believe me, the opening messages are fundamental. We can call it a perfect debut for Galatasaray Medical Park. The Turkish squad made its fans happy by dominating Union Olympia Ljubljana 80-59 to qualify to the next round in Jaka Lakovic and teammates' first attempt. The Slovenian guard was a leader with 16 points and 4 from beyond the arc. While Furkan Aldemir showed that he definitely likes to play against Ljubljana, having reached double digits twice in the 2 games against Union. Rothbart and Thompson combined for 39 for the guests. Another Euroleague debutant, Unix Kazan, set a defensive record for the regular season, allowing Aseko Prokom just 11 points in the first half of the game. They also set the record for points allowed in a quarter with a mere 5 against. The game ended 68-41, the 6th victory for the Russians in a solid regular season effort. Unix, the reigning Eurocup champion, won 4 of their last 5 games, while Henry Domerkant confirmed that he is still one of the best shooters around the continent. Sienna completed the group, defeating Barcelona in our game of the week. David Andersen is one of the most experienced and talented players in Euroleague. The Australian centre's playing his 10th Euroleague season at his second spell with Montepaschi Siena. A big guy in the middle with a deadly shot from mid and long range poses a real threat for all the opponents. He made his name in Euroleague back in 2000-2001 in a memorable 5-game series final between Virtus Bologna and Tau Ceramica Vitoria.
A young fella coming across from overseas, from Australia, and playing in the Euroleague was a big thing. I had a great time. Obviously learned a lot of things along that season, played with the greats, and obviously got a chance to lift the trophy, so it was a great experience. Very, obviously emotional kind of thing. You're seeing how the Italian fans, everyone celebrates this kind of thing. It was a bit different.
2 further Final Four appearances followed, one with Virtus, the other with Montepaschi Siena. Then in 2005, Ettore Messina took him to Moscow. That same year, CSKA triumphed in Prague. Out through injury, David was forced to push on his teammates from the sidelines.
The guys are really good. I think they really got together and worked extra hard to cover up me going out, and I think they did a great job. So I was very happy when obviously they got to the Final Four and they won it. So I was just as happy as everyone else. So.
In 2008, CSKA won again in Madrid, and that time David was a real factor for the Russian team.
Being a big part of it and being involved as much as I was makes it that extra special when you win. So it was a big thing for me. Obviously helping the team to win, it's always the objective. But playing basketball and playing at that high level and doing what I did then, it was great. I had a great time, great experience, and it was one of the highlights of my career, I would say.
Upon moving to FC Barcelona next season, Andersen wasted no time making history as the only player in Euroleague ever to reach the Final Four with 4 different clubs. whose goal as one of the main contenders is to take their season to the final weekend.
I'm still David. I like to play basketball and I like to win. So that's objective is like any team I've been on over here is to get to Final Four and try and win and do things. So, you know, obviously coming back, I want to try and be a part of it and be a part of a big team that's going to go obviously all the way to the end.
A clash of titans with first place hanging in the balance produced a superstar performance as CSKA Moscow downed visiting Panathinaikos Athens 91-75. And big man Nenad Hristic ran away with the Bwin MVP honor for Week 9 of the Turkish Airlines Euroleague regular season. Hristic ended up with a performance index rating of 31.
Bronze medal, Pietro Aradori. If you score the first 20 points of your Euroleague career against Barcelona, when your team is down by 15, and then you win it, that means something. Probably, it means we're witnessing the birth of a new winning star. We almost forgot, 20 points are great, this pass is absolutely outstanding. Only bronze because he's still young. Silver medal, Roger Grimau. Together they won the Euroleague in 2010. Last summer both moved to other teams. One, Roger Grimau, had to win in Istanbul with his Bilbao to still hope of playing in the top 16. And Roger, of course, was one of the most valuable players of the game. As usual, when something to win is needed from him, he'll supply it. 13 points and assists like this one. And as usual, the stats say almost nothing about him. Silver medal because the winner is... Gold medal, Jaka Lakovic. 293 points with KRKA. 1,140 with Panathinaikos. 935 with Barcelona. And now 91 in 9 games with Galatasaray. The total amount says 2,450 points in 11 Euroleague seasons, putting him in 3rd position of all time, following Navarro and Brown. His last 16 points qualified his team to the next round. We don't need anything more than this to justify awarding him gold. No big stars, but all very good players in a perfect organisation. That's Brose Baskets, with 3 easy but consistent ideas of offence. 1. Running the transitions, changing side every time possible, like here from Tada to Gavel through Tucker. Or vice versa from Gavel to Tada through Jacobson. Or straight from Jenkins crossing to Jacobson. 2. Changing side through the low post. Tucker starts on the left low spot. Slaughter ends on the right through Jenkins. The same idea here, from right to left for Jacobson. From right to left low post, a crossing pass and the almost natural offense rebound by Jenkins. 3. Moving the ball from one side to the other against the zone, avoiding dribbles, ending with a spectacular alley-oop for Tucker. From the left corner, Slaughter driving and crossing for Jenkins. Changing side twice for Plysis, his middle corner jumper. Then the masterpiece, a dream for all coaches. Everybody touches the ball, nobody dribbles. Left, right, middle, inside, more inside. Simplicity, organisation, concentration, playing together. That's the formula for basketball's penicillin from Coach Fleming.
Number 3, Sienna, Italy. David Moss of Montepaschi says no to Bonnie Ndong's dunk attempt with one of the best blocks this season. Number 2, Bamberg, Germany. Sonny Weems on the open court can only mean one thing: showtime. Weems flies for a show-stopping slam. And the number 1 play of the week, Sienna, Italy. Joe Ingles of FC Barcelona Regal buries a 16-meter bomb at the end of the third quarter. Unbelievable. We'll be back next week with more Turkish Airlines Euroleague action. Turkish Airlines Euroleague. I feel devotion.